On this week's Talking with Topher, bathroom. And it's not any of your business how long it takes me to go to the bathroom. I could have bladder problems, I could have prostate problems, I could have colon problems. You don't know. Every day that you go in, you just do more than the person standing next to you. As long as you do more than the person standing next to you, they will always notice you. And now let's get into episode 184. What is happening, TwT fans? It is so good to be back on this October 14th, 2023. And as always, I'm so glad to have you all back here with me. Before we get into anything today, let's start off by saying thank you. Thank you to all my subscribers, and thank you to all the new subscribers. You're what keeps me coming back here week after week. So I greatly appreciate all of you, and thank you. And if you're new to the podcast, you're just swinging by, checking it out, maybe you got sent the link tree, remember to hit that subscribe button. It's the most important thing you can do for me, and of course, it's free for you. So please be doing that. And then, of course, if you want to get involved with the podcast, you have a story to tell, or maybe you want to be a guest on Talking with Topher, you get your opportunity just by sending out an email to the official email of the podcast, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. Go ahead and send it typed out, audio, video, and send your emails on over to me, and it's just that easy. talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. Linktree link, all right. It's right here at the bottom of the screen, or you can find the link in the description below the video. All right, copy, share that with everyone. And of course, everything I'm doing on social media, on all platforms, it's all accessible through the link tree. It's just that easy. And now with all that out of the way, let's get into today's episode. How has everybody's week been treating them? I think I did a couple Topher's topics. So this week I'm going to get into a little bit of what's going on with me. And I hope by now my guest episode is either in front of this or behind this. I'm not sure, but it is coming up. We do have a couple guests coming up for the end of the year. Very excited for it. If I've already released it, I'm sorry, but there'll be another one. But if I didn't release it, well, it's probably on its way. So these things are happening. I had to have a lot of schedule changes. I had to, it's just been back and forth. Things keep coming up. You know, life just has this way of getting in the way of things that we want to do, and death has this way of getting in the way of life, right? So I've been going to my therapist now. I think I've done at this point about 5 or 6 sessions. Unfortunately, he had somebody pass in his family, so he had to stop 1 week, and then the next week I had to cancel because I had my garage being worked on, which it still is, my roof redone, which is done. Actually, the garage by now should be done, so I'm hoping it is. I don't know, because I'm kind of talking for the future, but it was a lot. And when I had so much going on that day, I was like, you know what, I can't make it in. So I haven't really been able to touch base with them or go over anything of importance, right now. And I'm kind of dealing with it, and it's fine. But something did happen. I'm not now going to Florida. But being in the position that I'm in, I'm still a little green, right? So what I'm getting at here is understanding where you are at. And I understand fully today that I'm not exactly the person that I want to be, right? It's constant work, it's constant change, it's constant, got to dial that in a little bit more, right? So in my personal life, I'm still working on myself every single day. But in my position in my work life, I'm still working on myself every single day as well. Trying to get myself out of this 30-year groove, get myself into a new groove, got to understand the ins and outs. And Florida doesn't have any stores around that, like, if they were in a jam, we would be able to call on people and bring them in. Florida's all by itself. So we had to send people that were ready to take on that position. And I now am going to be in a franchise running it. And it's very exciting. It's very exciting. It's a lot of responsibility, but this position is a lot of responsibility. And this is going to get me out of that green zone. And when they were done talking to me and I was sitting there, I was like, oh, I agree 100%. I know exactly where you're coming from. I completely understand you. And yeah, I completely and absolutely agree 100% that I am too green. I am too green. And if there is a problem, I don't want to not have an answer. And if I do have an answer, it better be the correct answer. But I would have, I was getting myself ramped up to do some like room service diaries type of thing out of the hotel. And, I was going to be able to do some stuff, get some editing done. And I just knew that I'm not ready for that big of a leap, I guess you could call it. And they knew it too. And instead of, just kind of throwing me into it, they really thought about what was going on, and they made a great decision to put me in charge of a franchise and allow that franchisee to go to Florida to help those franchisees get their store open. And I know that's a little bit behind the scenes and probably unnecessary, but at the same time, it made me realize that I know who I am and what I'm capable of doing. And I don't think a lot of people know that today. I don't think a lot of people that are in a position or a job and you're told that you're doing something and then all of a sudden you're not doing it, but you've already geared up to do it. The way that they looked at me, it was like I was supposed to disagree with them and be like, no, I can, and I'm doing this. And then they would have to be like rebuttal with, no, I'm sorry, this is the way it's got to be. And I think I kind of threw them back a little bit when I was like, no, you're right. I completely understand. I understand all of everything that but this is an amazing opportunity for me, right? I don't have to go. I don't have to rearrange my life as much as I was going to have to. But at the same time, the store will succeed. All the things should come together. And now with every location that opens up, it's just going to be that much easier for me. And I just, when you actually know yourself, it's a really good feeling. It's a really good feeling, and they even told me that, we see that you're getting your legs under you. We can see that you're getting this. And that was so nice to hear. I make fun and I have a lot of fun saying this to certain people, but, I don't do well with compliments. I don't do well with it at all, but I do well with when people realize that I'm doing a good job. And that means everything to me because my work ethic means a lot to me. And I think work ethic is a dying thing today. I just don't think it exists the way it once did. And that could be the internet's fault. This October, are you ready to add a splash of fun and style to your wardrobe? Look no further than slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. That's right. Don't forget to put in promo code TOPHER to get an extra 10% off your entire purchase. Introducing Slow Down Clothing, the ultimate destination for the whole family to express their unique personalities and embrace the joy of slowing down. From quirky and amusing designs for the young ones to sophisticated and expressive tees for the adults, Slow Down Clothing has something for everyone. Embrace the thrill of the ride with our high-quality skateboards and gloves, carefully designed to bring you both style and protection. Whether you're splashing in the waves or lounging under the sun, our comfortable swimming shorts and soft beach towels are perfect companions for those summer days spent by the water. Slow Down Clothing is more than just a clothing company. It's a lifestyle. It encourages you to appreciate the simple moments, find joy in everyday experiences, and savor the beauty of life. Slow down and create lasting memories with Slow Down Clothing. Visit slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com today to explore our wide range of stylish and comfortable apparel, from kids' shirts to women's leggings, skateboards, gloves, swimming shorts, beach towels, and so much more. Slow down and embrace the fun and style with slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. Also, put in promo code TOPHER before you check out for that extra 10% off your entire purchase, because life is meant to be enjoyed one moment at a time. It could be social media's fault. It could be anything's fault that the work ethic isn't there. But, you know, my dad drove it into me that you go in, you do your job, and you go home. And if you rinse and repeat that. And every day that you go in, you just do more than the person standing next to you. As long as you do more than the person standing next to you, they will always notice you. You know, you may not think that they notice you, but they notice that. And I was like, okay. And so I've always done that throughout my entire career, which is why I believe I got to where I was. But it's like a lot of the work ethic is gone. And it's pretty wild to see. And if anything is going to give AI and robots a leg up, it's people not having a work ethic, right? And I'm not talking about not being able to go to the bathroom or take breaks, or that's abusing your workers. That's not a good work ethic. If you're like, oh, I don't go to the bathroom, I just work. It's like, no. You're not working. You're beating yourself up. That's horrible for you, and nobody should be allowing that to happen. It's gross. But when you go in and you're doing your thing, and then like you just see something and you go over and you fix it, or you do this and then you go back to doing what you're supposed to be doing, that's the above and beyond. And that stuff, it's very, very few and far in between today. And it's really weird to me that we've lost our work ethic. This writer's strike is I think it's really good, but I had no idea that, this used to be 21% of people were unionized, and now it's only 7%. These corporations keep winning. They keep bashing the crap out of everybody, and bashing the crap out of these unionizations. And I don't know if I'm for or against union. I can't really say what side I'm on, because I've never worked for a union. I've always worked for a corporation, Walmart, Rap City. I mean, I don't work for anybody that has a union. So I don't even know how it works, really. It's just that I find it so wild that, when you got, what was his name? Some black politician. I really liked him. I thought he was on a good path. And then he does a thing in front of, people and on TV where he's telling, because he's doing a speech or something, or campaigning, whatever you want to call it. And then he's like, oh, yeah, these union workers, you go on strike, you're fired. I don't think unions are the one and only way to do things, but I do believe that they serve some purpose, right? Because without unions, you wind up like Amazon, where you're pissing in bottles and you can't take bathroom breaks, and they're basically treating them like a robot. I heard it got a little bit better from a couple people that have now left the company. But didn't get that much better. They were timing them, and they were, screw you, dude. If I gotta go to the bathroom, I gotta go to the bathroom, and it's not any of your business how long it takes me to go to the bathroom. I could have bladder problems, I could have prostate problems, I could have colon problems. You don't know. There is so much of the human body that can go wrong and cause you to be on a toilet for a lot longer than they would be like, oh, okay, you're taking a pee at 60 seconds. What? No. You don't get to dictate how long I get to go to the bathroom, bro. You don't get to dictate that. So I was hoping that, these unions were going to, be able to turn things around, and Biden was going to help because he was so pro-union. I mean, that guy can barely shuffle his feet. He's like, oh, I'm going to go down and strike with the union next week. It's like, and then, of course, by the time this comes out, that's already said and done anyways. But it just irritates me that there's no work ethic today. Everybody wants to be a fucking TikTok star, or they want, to make a viral video and make fame to that. And like, you got like all these people, I don't know them at all, but I guess there's some TikTok people or one TikTok girl and some family or something. And now she's got her own TV show. And then, like, I saw a commercial for Dancing with the Stars, and my wife's like, I have no idea who any of these people are. And then my friend's like, oh, well, that one's on TikTok. And it's like, oh, okay. So it's just Instagram followers, Twitter followers, TikTok. So so even the label stars has completely shifted to all this new social media bullshit. And I don't know if that's right, but I mean, it's just the way it's going today. But I think that influences the younger generation to try less, right? Because if I figure it out, man, if I eat the right Tide Pod with the one chip challenge and dance on some crates while, I don't know, doing something else, I might be able to hit, that viral video. And then everything will be all situated. It'll be done. Awesome. And I think that in itself, as of now, like if we were talking years ago, like when I wanted to start a podcast, this probably would have been even different, and now I'm in a pool of 500 million other podcasts. Mine's older, more videos, but all you have to do is wax your asshole and explain it in an educational video, and boom, millions of views, millions and millions. It's tough out here in this streaming content world that I want to be a part of, and I am a part of it. I just want to be a bigger part, and I need your help to do that. So subscribe. But I mean, throw them a fucking bone. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me how all these people are like, oh, well, you strike, you're fired. Oh, we'll just wait until they can't afford their house or rent or anything else, and then they're going to come crawling back to us. So we're not even going to sit down at the table and do anything about this. We're just going to wait for them to grovel at our feet. That's a problem. That is a problem. That's why Starbucks does union busting. All these places that we hear about the unions and then people trying to strike and trying to implement unions and get people to sign, and they smash them down and they fire them, and then they close the store so they don't have to deal with it. And then they're like, no, we closed the store because, that Starbucks in that location just wasn't making any profit every quarter. So we closed it down. And it's like, no, you closed that down because they were unionizing. You wanted to stop them from unionizing. You couldn't stop them from unionizing. And when they finally got their unionization together and the paper signed, it's evident. You can follow the trail. And as soon as they figured it out and got it done, they closed the location. So these people are out of work, fighting to keep their jobs, but they just want what's right for them. better pay, better benefits, any benefits, something that's beneficial. Make me want to come to work, And it's like all these corporations care about is the profits, the shareholders, and themselves. And it's really sad. And I just don't know if that has anything to do with the work ethic today. But I have to tell you that it really does seem like it is lacking. But I just hope one day, the government realizes what they need to do. They give everybody the pay raise, which everybody tells me if they give them the pay raise, then prices are going to go up, and we're just going to keep chasing this because you pay them more, and let's just say it's $10 billion this company's making. Well, now I just paid this much, so now I only make $8 billion. So now I'm going to raise everything. I'm going to get my $2 billion back, and on top of that, you know what? For my troubles, I want an extra one. So now they're giving more pay, but now they jack everything up again, and we're all back in the exact same spot. How do we get them to stop doing this? How do we get these corporations to stop chasing profits for their shareholders and keep cutting the workers down? There was automobile union strike. They were going bankrupt. So all the workers decided, hey, we are going to do this, and this, right? Because it's going to relieve the corporation. It's going to relieve the corporation. It's not going to have to go into bankruptcy. It will survive. And the only thing we're saying is when we do this, as soon as you start making profits again, you give us everything back and maybe a little extra because we gave up everything. We gave up everything so that this corporation didn't die. And as soon as they started making profits, they didn't do nothing. They didn't give anything back. They took away more. They fired more. They laid off more. And they just continued to build the profits. That is wrong. And, they say that, like, stepping in, the government shouldn't step in. This government shouldn't step in. And I'm like, what do you mean the government shouldn't step in? The government should absolutely step in. The government needs to step in and stop allowing these corporations to line their pockets, to stop these corporations from paying them off so they can pollute. The government needs to step in so that they can stop these corporations from doing these things to these workers, from doing this shit with their shareholders and their CEOs. Oh, our CEOs are doing fine. Our stocks are doing great. Our profits are up. And all of my employees are suffering. That is wrong. We don't care how the CEO is doing, right? Do you know that there was enough money profited that they could have given every single one of those automobile workers, I'm not sure, the company, almost $400,000 each? It's just like when we talk about natural disasters, right? And we talk about the people that have suffered, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, you name a place, New Orleans, all these places that have natural disasters that get a lot of shit fucking wiped out. I mean, when these things happen, and we just go over there and we're like, oh, and or we don't go over there, right? Because Biden hasn't, I don't think he showed up yet. And if he did, I think he got booed. But what's happening is they turn around and they're like, oh, we'll give you $700. And it's like, well, that doesn't do anything. Why don't you, that extra, $4 to $6 billion that you found for Ukraine, that was enough to give every single one of those families that lost their home a new life. But we don't do that. We don't do that at all. And it's just really troubling right now, right? Because, like, I don't know what's a good thing. What's the best thing? Is a union good or is it bad? Is it bad because the corporation? Is it good because the corporations and the government are telling me it's bad? Because that's the way my brain thinks now. You guys tell me it's bad. It must be good. It must be good because everything you tell me is opposite day. It's always opposite day with the government. You tell me the food pyramid's good, I know it's bad. You tell me that these forever chemicals are okay, I know they're horrible. Right? You keep trying to feed us with this dirty spoon. And I'm all done eating it. So I believe that unions, even though I was told for a long time, and not by anybody in particular, but I was told for a long time that unions are bad. Unions are bad for the corporation. They're bad for business. Probably not. Probably not, right? I think what's bad for business and bad for corporations is them treating their workers like shit. You know? You treat the writers like shit, and you're like, oh, we'll just use AI. And it's like, well, no, you can't do that. That's crazy. So all we keep doing, the whole picture of the United States of America, all we keep doing is trying to take everything away from the people today. And I agree with 54% of America. I don't see a hopeful future for this country. And I do believe we are in a downfall. I think this country's going to be fucked one day. Now, I got friends and I got family that would argue with me. Oh, no, we're the best. We're the best. Yeah. Fine. We got a big old army. I get it. But we also gave over $100 billion worth of ammunition, guns, tanks. It's all the stuff we don't use. It's all the stuff we don't use. Well, yeah, but we could have used it, right? We could have used it. Like, let's just say that something pops off and every single one of our fighter jets is down now. It's all that. We have no more fighter jets. None. We would have had more, right? Doesn't matter if they're old and obsolete. That was our shit. That's you and me as a taxpayer. That was our money. Still our money that they're using to fight their war that we're funding. We're literally gotten so close to this war that the only thing left to do is put boots on the ground. China's teaming up with Russia. It's a really, really weird time. It's a really, really weird time. It's like, is Taiwan going to get invaded? Because we supposedly moved things pretty close to Taiwan to stop that from happening. So if they invade Taiwan, does that mean we go to war? And what happens with this new Russian, some nuclear firing ship or something that they just, I mean, this is crazy. When you're hearing about nuclear war almost on the regular now, and maybe this is what the Cold War felt like. You know, I remember having to like duck under a desk or a doorway to make sure that, that's what we did. We did bomb drills. Right now, everybody in school does live drills for an active shooter. Right. So it's kind of one thing to the next. Right. We're not teaching them how to, you hear the sirens, bombs being dropped, whatever. Now you're running and you're hiding. But now you have to avoid an active shooter. So these things have been going on in school forever. But we just have to, what happens? What are we going to do when it happens? Because there's no amount of weapons, ammunition, or anything that stops this. And they're like, well, there's small tactical nuclear, small tactical is, I want to say, and I think I'm going to get it close, but I'm pretty sure it's 8 times what Hiroshima was. That is not little. I don't know. You ever seen the pictures of Hiroshima? Go check them out. That was a ginormous area where lots of people died. But we're just using little tactical nuclear missiles. Oh, really? That's 8 times more deadly than that one. So, no. No, this is crazy town. So one of those goes off, and it is basically the end because everybody's going to do it. Nobody's going to take it. Everybody wants to use their nuclear missiles. I don't understand why. And I was looking at that Russian ship that's carrying these missiles or it can fire this ammunition or whatever it is. And I was like, man, that thing it really is a thing of beauty. Because it's a crazy giant ship with a giant fucking cannon on the top. But why are the things for war? Like, it's like, oh, wow, look at that. Look at that fucking crazy. It's like our battleships and our aircraft carriers and all the things that we have, the stealth bomber and, these drones that nobody needs to be in anymore. All of these things really are incredible. But they're all for death. They're all for war. They're all for, man, it's just crazy, right? Like, we think that they're so, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. It's not neat. It's just, it's like awe-inspiring. Like, it's like looking at a skyscraper. You can't believe it exists. Can't believe it. You're like, wow, look at that engineering and all the technology and what they can do. But it's all for killing people. It's all from killing people, for killing people. And that's wild to me that I can look at something that's made for killing people and I go, that's a work of, that is a work of art right there. I can't believe we can build stuff like that today, And I'm sorry to go from work ethic all the way up to war and death, but I just think it all starts with treating people better. Treating them better. You'll have less angry people if you paid them right, if you took care of them, if the companies actually fucking cared, and if our government would stop allowing corporations to run our government, it would just be better for all of us. And I just keep wondering when that day is going to come, But it's been a really, really good couple weeks. Lots of good things happening. And I got told that, you are actually, getting your feet under you. And I heard that and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is amazing because they're noticing. They're noticing. I don't notice that they notice, but they do notice. And it's just like getting a stripe in jiu-jitsu, right? I mean, you may be like, well, it's been 15 months. And it's like, well, they know that too. You get it when you get it. That's why I never really pushed for it. Never asked for it, obviously. I mean, there's been some people that have asked. That doesn't go over very well. But it's the same thing. I just got to have faith. Keep going in. Keep doing it. Rinse, repeat. And as long as I keep pecking away at it, I'm eventually going to get it. Just like you keep pecking away at an arm bar, you're going to eventually get that arm bar, or any submission that you want. So, if you're working on it, and the hardest thing to do is start something new, right? Especially as an adult. And the reason for that is simply because you don't want to become embarrassed and you don't want to get hurt, right? So when you start something new and you accept that embarrassment and you accept that if I just do it right, I won't get hurt. you know, you make it further. You make it much, much further in this life. And that is so important. But I'm going to keep this as a solo episode this week. I was going to do some events, but I think I'm going to cut. So I just wanted to let you all know, coming up shortly, I'm going to have another guest. I'm going to start making some phone calls. I've got my brand new schedule. I've got my days off, and I think I should be able to pull off enough guests to bring us through to the end of the year. So that's my goal for all of you out there. And again, I just want to thank everybody for supporting the podcast, for subscribing, and for always being there for me, because you do keep me coming back here week after week, and I greatly appreciate you. If you're new to the podcast, remember to subscribe. It's super important. It keeps the podcast afloat, and it's free for you. So there's no reason not to do it. So be clicking that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. Of course, if you want your opportunity to tell your story or be a guest on Talking with Topher, then you need to send out an email to talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. You can send audio, video, or type it out, but you got to send the email over to the official email of the podcast, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. And then, of course, don't forget about the link tree. It's down here. All right, so be clicking that. It's in the description below the video. So go ahead and copy, share, and of course, if you want more TWT, all you got to do is click it. It's just that easy. All of the social, all the platforms, everything is in that link tree, keeping it super easy for all of you out there. So again, I thank you, and I hope everybody out there has a great rest of your Thursday. Enjoy your weekend. And as always, I will talk to you later.